Hello, SpeedGaming 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to the A Link to the Past Randomizer 2026 No Logic Tournament. My name is JD Silvergun. I'll be your commentator for this race, and we have other Tom on tracking. So this is game 2 of a best of 3 series between Amarith and DrunkFutureSelf. And very excited to see what happens in this race. We should be getting started any second. And please feel free to ask questions in the chat if you have any, and I will do my best to keep up with that. But this is a no logic preset for those who are not familiar with it. There is no algorithm to determine the item placement. Like, something could be anywhere. Like hammer can be in Thieves Town, Big Chest, etc. Looks like we're getting started with a Link's House start from Amarith. And both starting at Link's House with only 5 rupees. DFS going for the dam right away. This is a really unorthodox opening. Amarith going for the item on the island, which is a small key. And DFS gets a GT small key in the dam. Oh, and another one on the island as well. So small keys generally are convenience items. They can open up more routing options, or they can be bypassed, depending on what items we have. Only 20 rupees for the sunken treasure, and DFS is turning in the fish. And gets a bomb, which is probably what he wanted, I would imagine, but... Not sure why he does this routing. I've certainly never seen it from anyone else. Amarith to the Lost Woods, meanwhile. Alright, first a bottle in the mushroom location. Bottles are a very important item in No Logic. You drink a potion on the same frame as doing a screen transition, it can have a variety of effects, and I'm sure we'll be seeing that very often in the race. It's called a YBA, or Yuzuhara's Bottle Adventure. DFS getting a check under the bridge, nothing important. And I'm going to set up a swim clip to Ice Rod Cave. And Amarith bonking the rock by Fortune Teller for a bomb. Personally, I don't much care for this because it's quite slow. The screen transitions, like going in and out of a building, are deceptively costly time-wise. The DFS is having trouble with this swim clip. It is pretty tight input-wise, and it's also kind of a finicky trick. But you have to do the inputs really fast, and you have to let off of the D-pad really fast, like immediately after you do the inputs, so it is a little bit tricky. A very early Kakariko play from Amarith. Big key to Ice Palace. You would rather have that than not have it. If we go to Ice Palace, small key to Skull. A lot of these small keys, it's nice to have one of each of them. It can definitely be convenient. The DFS swim clipping to the island, doing a different style of swim clip. Alright, blue mail in the well is a very nice item to have, especially in glitched modes, and a sword as well. The very nice thing on the red mail as well, right next to it. The reason why blue mail is so good is because we frequently bomb ourselves. Like, in no glitches, you see a lot of bomb jumping, but in addition to that, we'll be doing, like, bomb clipping, bomb jukes, bomb snaps, like, all kinds of, like, overworld conveyor. We take intentional damage, like, quite a bit more often than in a no glitches format. With TR small in the chicken hut for Amarith, and DFS in the woods gets his first bottle as well. And I wonder if he picked up the compass on purpose. We definitely don't need those. They don't do anything. 20 rupees on Sick Kid on Amarith's side. Alright, DFS set up a water walk from the forest and is carrying that to the Zora area, looks like. And Amarith not cheating the race game. This is some honest, well, she's playing by their rules, which is certainly not something I would expect to see normally. Didn't even pick up the item after all that work. Okay, so this is a clip to get to desert, and I think this is maybe our, not our first boots clip, but just basic overworld glitching stuff. Dash buffering into a slope and teleporting. Boomerang on the desert ledge is a nice item. Okay, so Amarith into desert and DFS back for Ice Rod Cave. Just a piece of heart in the map chest in desert. And it looked like there was nothing important in Ice Rod Cave. DFS save and quit to Link's house. Amarith maybe setting up a quadrant glitch. Like extra cautious, killing the enemies first. Alright, mini Moldorm Cave for DFS. With one heart and a dream. Let's all please say a prayer for him. Alright, the first Moldorm was very kind, so at least there's that. Unfortunately, won't have enough health to bomb juke the door, I don't think. I mean, technically you could, but it's quite difficult. Oh, so he doesn't even go for it. Normally people check King's Tomb while they're in Mini Moldorm Cave in this mode. But, and Amarith can't find the chest. Okay, small key to Turtle Rock. Small key to Ice Palace. And powder on the Uncle could be potentially a nice item. So if anyone wants to fix the camera, if you do a 1 frame like back buffer off of the pots before you dash right with the quadrant glitch, it will let you scroll the camera so you can see what's happening and what your items are. The 8-pack of bombs is a really nice tree pull on DFS's side. Okay, DFS into the castle. Our only weapon is still bombs on his side, but I assume he knows the strats or he wouldn't be doing this. A map of Skull Woods, the Hyrule map, just. The Amarith in Agina's cave. It's a compass. Save and quit. Oh, even though the castle kind of sucks and it's like going in here is like 3 very slow checks. The reason why people like to go here, well, maybe I shouldn't say they like to go here, but if you do not happen to find a nice cave state key on your way, such as the Pod, TT, or GT big keys, you can always get one at the Ball and Chain card. So it is peace of mind. 'Cause we do a lot of things in cave state in no logic. And I personally don't like orphaning like the pod big chest if I don't have to, but sometimes you get lucky and just find one. DFS. Planning a strategy for this room very carefully. Okay, ends up just taking the green guy out with a pot. He claims the big key. And a piece of heart. Alright, Amarith. It's very comfy with a sword, dashing through here. Sanctuary for DFS. It looks like DFS is going to town and going to get rewarded with a sword and both males. Don't think there was really anything that great other than that. But red male is doing work in this room right now for Amarith. It's only 3 hearts and taking a lot of hits. And now it backfires with the death warp with 2 bombs. Alright, Dark Cross check. This is a check a lot of people skip in this mode, but sometimes you end up going through these rooms anyway for another reason than clearing the castle, so I am a fan of this specific check, even though it is quite slow. You can save a little of the time off of it by going from Hera with a bomb clip. It's only a little bit faster, though. You still have to go up spiral stairs. I believe that was a sword. Yes, so a very nice bind for going out of the way there. A lot of people would not get that sword in this tournament, unless they were very desperate. Amarith setting up a DMA, or Death Mountain Ascent. Skipping the glove requirement to rescue the old man. Alright, Magic Bat for DFS. This is new information. Hookshot, wow. What a find. And small key to Skullwoods on the old man. Not a very big deal because we already have one, but there are routes where you can use the Skullwoods key in Swamp, but I don't know. I don't know what anyone knows or what they don't know, so see if that gets put to use. It's kind of an obscure route. Alright, second descent from the mountain for Amarith. One for Graveyard Ledge, one for King's Tomb. This method is rarely seen in NL. This is the overworld glitches way, but it's rewarded with a bottle. That's another really good find that DFS missed out on so far. Alright, we see that Eastern is a crystal. So DFS... exploring desert, but it looks like we're setting up a YBA here. Amarith in Hera, meanwhile. Ice Rod in the lobby for Hera. Interesting. Yeah, this YBA kind of sucks because if you go through the door, it is a long time to set it up again because you get locked out. And meanwhile, Amarith sees a flute on Spectacle Rock, setting up a little teleport to grab that. So the flute will bring her back to town, and turning in the powder will get her the hookshot as well. DFS, I think, failed the camera correct on the YBA. So for a south YBA like that, you have to back out of the door with left and right inputs, because YBAs juke you past the transition. So DFS goes for a quadrant glitch. And I think that was the red boomerang on the island, but Amarith is leaving it behind. A big key to Hera in Spiral Cave, that's somewhat convenient. I mean, that is one of the better big keys, even though we have the hookshot, or, well, at least we know where it is. That door is good to have open sometimes, depending on the seed. We can use it to do other glitches. Alright, Paradox for Amarith at DFS. Also going up the mountain, I think. TR big key. A hammer and paradox. I missed what the lumberjack item is. I'm wondering if the cropping is off or if I just completely missed it. A lumberjack DMA from DFS sees the flute. And Amarith, meanwhile, going to activate her flute. Early flute is really nice to have. It's not... We don't really get the full value out of it unless you like also have like glove and moon pearl usually, but it still saves a lot of time on trip to the potion shop. Like Amarith did not do South Shore yet, so like fluting to 7 for the dam and mini Moldorm Cave saves a little bit of time. And backtracking to go back to the desert boss. It still saves time here and there, even though we don't need it. It's a really nice item to have. And she is going to check the magic bat and be happy. DFS rescuing the old man. Right, potion shop or Amarith. Can't afford the red potion, unfortunately. Oh no. It buys a green instead. Oh, flutes to 7. Alright, DFS doing a bomb Herapod. This is unfortunate because we know the big key is like very close by, so he's not even checking the other chest. The compass chest, I believe it is. Also, this fighter's sword fight is kind of lame, honestly. It's certainly doable, but even a Master Sword is a big upgrade. 3 spins to win. A book on Moldorm, and a crystal. Amarith saves and quits out of mini Moldorm. Alright, Amarith, Heraclip. Okay, just a heart piece on either tablet. Amarith getting trolled a little bit by that mini Moldorm. A nice super speed Aeropod though. Alright, DFS going for the boomerang. Right? Amarith finishes Moldorm. The DFS doing Paradox Cave now. Right, Dark World for Amarith. Alright, so this is a citrus clip to GT. DFS. Having a little trouble. I think wanted to do the Graveyard Ledge descent. But Amarith's having a little trouble with this citrus clip as well. Yeah, unfortunately keeps going a little bit too far and gets pushed out. I do think this GT play is interesting though, but I don't know if I would go to GT before Pod, especially front dooring it without the big key. You could cave state GT and get more stuff out of it that way. And it looks like DFS also is clipping to GT. Although if I'm not mistaken, DFS didn't correct the camera, so this is actually a harder clip for him without the shadow cue, or I'm just blind and can't see the shadow, but he gets it nonetheless. But both of them are in. But there's still bunnies, or, you know, a bottle and Dr. Light, so they have to go Death Warp. Alright, map of Hyrule Castle, value, 20 bucks. A DFS saving time by opening the door, I love it. I'm not being sarcastic. You're unlikely to need all your GT keys, because we're not climbing. Like that is saved for the most atrocious of seeds. They only come around under a full moon, while Mercury is in retrograde. Alright, so nothing so far. Although I guess the money is not nothing, because Amarith had trouble affording a red potion, so... It's slightly helpful, but it's not amazing. Nice small key in the map chest. This dungeon. Oh. DFS definitely making the right call to open the middle door. Having trouble with the switch though. I've just been losing time to Amarith in general on movement. in the dungeon. Although he did get the citrus clip quite a bit faster, so that's interesting. So it gives up on the boomerang entirely. Alright, second ice rod in rando room. Arrows, 300 rupees, and small key to castle tower. Well, since they haven't been to castle tower yet, despite like doing the castle, I don't know. I kind of doubt that ever gets checked, but better to have it than not have it. Another advantage of cave stating is that you could despawn ice armos. Because this, I guess sword beams isn't the worst fight, but it's still slow. Yeah, I really am shocked that both of them made this play, like, with the hookshot in hand. It makes much more sense to do pod hookshot cave than GT afterwards, if you haven't found anything yet. But, I mean, that additional bottle was nice, but oh, a nice vanilla big key. Okay, I guess we're not missing out on the big chest after all. Well, not vanilla. Not truly vanilla, but it's in the same room, so close enough. Eastern big key in the GT big chest. Alright, Amarith walking out. Please don't climb. Oh, goodness. So are they going to mimic clip, or motion camera unlock, or what's the plan here? Alright, so DFS still struggling a little bit on Ice Armos. Amarith gets the first one. Oh, that was actually pretty fast. But she has to do this again, though. But at least if you clip the first two, the BMOS can't see you for whatever reason. Alright, DFS finishes up Ice Armos. Amarith is still mimic clipping the second room. Oh yeah, I do wonder what that shovel is going to turn into, by the way. When or if we get to check that. Alright, she did clip them below. That was a lot slower than the first room, unfortunately. And this is still a pretty trashy loadout to climb with. Alright, DFS even quit the Link's house immediately. In his mind, probably Amarith didn't go to GT, immediately wants to cash in on this shovel. And we get Bombos. That could be useful. We haven't seen either the fire rods or the lamp. Well, not that it replaces the lamp in any way, but it could have value. We don't know yet. Um, yes, to answer a question in chat, yes, so you do get Link State in Real Dark World, Indoors branch, which it doesn't actually make sense by the vanilla rules of the game, like because they're in fake Dark World right now, but that is, for whatever reason, it works. Oh, she's setting up a YBA. Okay, I approve of this much more than trying to do the whole climb. So if she succeeds at this, this will get us to the items much faster. Well, unfortunately, didn't get the up input, I guess. Oh, that is heartbreaking. She failed it both times. It's really unfortunate because all the mimic clipping and like time it took to get to set that up. My advice to anyone doing YBAs, and I also speak knowing that I am not perfect, but my advice is just hit the controller as hard as you can, like, and follow through, like, with good force. Like, don't be timid about it at all. You slam your hand on the controller. Nice fire rod in Sahasrara, by the way, on DFS's side. A little bit surprised nobody checked that yet, but... And we also see that Desert Palace is the green pendant. And DFS turning in the mushroom also found in Sahasrara's closet. Actually, no, I don't think that that's correct, Malmo, what you're saying about the YBA. Because the one that goes post Moldorm 2 is from the safety door. I don't have my EG map available on hand, but that gauntlet one... Oh, no, yeah, that one would have taken her to the Moldorm 2 room, and you can, teleport into the drop and climb back up and do the bomb jump to get the items, if I remember correctly. Because you're thinking of the one that puts you in the spike room with the bumpers and the mini helmas, which is from the safety room. So she would, if she succeeded, she would have had a chance to get items if she didn't die to Moldorm while trying to do the bomb jump. So meanwhile, Amarith in pod, DFS following her. And sorry, that was really delayed, but I'm having a hard time reading. Okay. Alright, well, I may have missed the start of the conversation, and I apologize for that. Well, I just was wondering if I was wrong, but I think I remember the map correctly, that you can get items using that YBA. Anyway, so pod, not looking super helpful so far. Alright, another fire rod in the pod basement. Alright, so rods are not going to be an issue this seed. And Amarith might be looking at some kind of trashy go mode here with 3 bottles, 2 rods, and Master Sword. Oh, Moon Pearl helps. And the hookshot doesn't really help because she doesn't have much to use it with. I mean, you can use it with powder and the ice rod, but a lot of people don't know those setups. Oh, Mr. Buyer did do a video that was pretty thorough, though, if anyone's interested in that. The low index for ice rod and bombs requires a sword, I believe, which they do have. So it's possible to stuck push, like, reasonably. It just takes a lot of magic because you need to use your rods to release the hook once you stick it. Alright, Amarith setting up statue drag while DFS is looting the back of pod still. Amarith accidentally burned her stored statue pulling animation and is pivoting to trying to do this quadrant glitch, a turtle power. Maybe just a little frazzled that she made a mistake. Because having the Moon Pearl, you can just go to Hookshot Cave. You don't have to do this fancy trick. DFS bombing open the right side gets his Moon Pearl. I didn't see if he got the big key chest, if he's like forced into this bomb juke route anyway. Oh, Amarith got her quadrant glitch. The camera is destabilized. Alright, DFS getting the east auto door bomb juke. Picking up the big key chest, which was just bombs. Amarith having trouble lining up these mimics. Alright, Amarith in Hookshot Cave, DFS right behind her, using the juke method. Unfortunately doesn't get the good camera. Nice pod, small key, in pod. Another Skullwoods key, that's all of them. But not really much value here. We get to check Super Bunny, since we came all the way over here. Yeah, since they ended up doing this play anyway, that's why I was saying it didn't make sense to me to rush GT like that, but they did get bailed out with the big key being in the dungeon, though. So Ether is our second medallion. Or at least that we know of. Amarith did not check the shovel yet. So it's her first medallion. And we're getting a TR play. Alright, just a piece of heart in the big chest. So both of them doing the TR play. Yeah, I don't hate it with the big key, but although this area is pretty spread out, like the checks are pretty slow to get. Especially without the mirror, they're in like two opposite directions. Alright, not really finding anything, but let's see. DFS, I assume, is going back for Crystal Roller. And Amarith in a bit of a tight spot here. Alright, finally gets a little cooperation so she can pick up her compass to Swamp Palace. And it's kind of crazy that DFS has like kind of caught up and like passed her within this little route. Nice big key to desert, by the way. Because the setting up the statue drag without a mirror and then failing it is a very like significant time loss. It's pretty unfortunate for her. Alright, DFS in the Dark World putting the Moon Pearl to work here. So we're really in the Dark World for real this time. Having a little trouble with the hook dash. Alright, we're setting up a super jump for South Dark World. Amarith stocking up on potions, fully loaded on cash. Doesn't get scolded this time. Alright, so DFS goes into Swamp to fix the camera. I have to imagine this is like a hype cave play. Maybe check the red crystals as well, although we know one of them is Eastern. So probably not going to be hugely helpful, but the knowledge is power in this mode. It takes a long time to get to a boss with glitches, usually, unless you have hook pushing, so if killing a pendant boss is a time sink we like to avoid. Alright, Amarith doing the Eastern Stairmaster, but we have the big key, so I'm a little confused by this play. Nice blue potion in Hype Cave, by the way. Map of Desert, which we already knew was the green pendant. I think Amarith maybe is a little frazzled or forgot that she has the big key. Racing a tournament is pretty stressful, at least for me personally, so I would understand a mental error like that being a thing. Alright, Stumpy for DFS. Small key to ice. The first one is good to find, especially because we don't have a glove. This really helps with routing, and you don't have to bother stealing the key from the front. Alright, so Amarith, unfortunately, drank her potions and save and quit. And DFS is digging. If only 6 digs, fortunately. But that can be a really slow check sometimes. Alright, and DFS did get the info that Meyer was a pendant, and I missed that, so that's probably a weight off of his mind. Even with having medallions, Meyer is not super fun to clear if you don't know how to push it, and based on what he showed us in his last race, he didn't seem super comfortable with stuck pushing, like opted to do some YBAs, or attempt them. Alright, Thieves Town for DFS, and we have the big key, so there's a nice little time save not having to run out from the bottom and back in to get the prize. We see the mirror as well, that's a good find. Very good convenience item and glitching item. Alright, Amarith also in the Dark World, starting on the north side instead of the south, like DFS. And murdering everything on the screen, sees a small key on the bumper ledge. And yeah, we've not seen the Hera Small or the Swamp Small. Okay, that is the Hera Small, so that is definitely one of the best small keys you can find. We usually use it in Swamp. I've also used it in Hyrule Castle to dupe the Dark Cross chest, so I had to open the door in one of my practice races. But definitely one of the better keys to have. Alright, Tempered Sword in Skull Woods for Amarith. Very nice find there. Don't have to go to the trouble of duping if we have Tempered. Amarith doing a lot of checks, so showing that she's not either not comfortable go moding or maybe wants to look for more info. It looks like we only know 2 of the pendants. And Swamp is pretty trashy with this loadout, so maybe they're worried about Swamp. And DFS having dodged the other swords is can't even think about go mode yet. I mean, I guess the sword in the well is tree warpable, but wait, no, does he have? Yeah, he still has fighter sword. On the comm stream, it's hard to tell sometimes. But he's told me that he wasn't comfortable with tree warping, so I don't think he's thinking about duping that sword. Alright, Crystal Thieves Town. So, a good dungeon clear for DFS. Amarith. About to finish Skullwoods, though. Oh. Not really behind, it's too early to say. Technically, DFS might have a lead on crystals, but We'll see. A pod map in Sea House. More info. Get an immediate check, and it's a crystal. Mirror in hand, that's less of a hassle to do. Alright, Amarith gets the Skullwoods crystal, taking down Mothula. Alright, so DFS gets his Master Sword in the Pot Prison in Skullwoods. And him having that red boomerang with the powder means he could do some index setting more easily than Amarith. If he wants to go for some stuck pushes, but I don't think he watched Mr. Byers' video. It's just, I don't know, I haven't seen him doing any kind of stuck pushing recently, so maybe he's just not comfortable going for it in a race, but we can wish, we can dream. Alright, so they're just kind of swapping places. Amarith clearing out the village of outcasts, DFS clearing Skullwoods. I have to ask them after what they were thinking about for Go mode, because if you're looking for, like, if you're not sure what you're looking for, or if you're, like, specifically, like, looking for, like, Samaria or, like, flippers for Swamp, I don't know, it could be just me, but it does feel kind of bad leaving this big chest behind if they actually have the hammer, because it's definitely not a given that you'll get a hammer in the seed. Like any given seed, so even though front dooring it is faster, you do leave behind the one check. But it is only one check, so it's unlikely to be of consequence, but this is rando though, so some races are definitely, you know, favorable to one person more than others sometimes. Depending on the item layout. And DFS taking it nice and easy here in this moth. Oh goodness. Thought about drinking a potion, decided not to drink the potion, and gets punished. Or maybe he was trying to drink the green potion to use the fire rod, but I don't know, he was cornered so bad, I would have just tried to drink the blue potion, personally. Oh, that's an unfortunate time loss, but at least having the green potion, it's less of a time loss than normal when that happens, because you don't have to farm back up. Yeah, I would maybe try to get above the moth and use the hammer in this case. Master Sword good enough to beat the game, but not that great in general. Your movement is pretty compromised while you're trying to charge these spins. Alright, successful moth fight that time. A bug net and crystal acquired. Alright, Amarith. In the back of Thieves Town. Picking up the maiden. Alright, so a DFS is walking this out. If he intends to stay in the Dark World, he needs to mirror to return to the real Dark World. Or if anyone is not aware, if you die in the Dark World and Aghanim 1 is not defeated, the game tries to put you in the Light World, but it can't because you're in the Dark World, so it becomes the fake Dark World, which transitions to real Light World. As you can see, the green guards, and yeah, he just realized the mistake. Oh, Amarith having trouble with the blind fight. Also taking a death, so giving some time back to DFS, who's stocking up on potions. Alright, DFS in the well. Looks like we're setting up a YBA to Ice Palace. Oh man, this refight is really gross. I would have tried to get sword beams. Alright, so if DFS successfully YBA'd into Ice Palace, but in cave state still, so we get to see the lovely carpet. Amarith taking down blind. Crystal. Tied back up, 3-3. Alright, opting to... Okay, he was just stealing a key. I don't know that he needed a third key, but we'll see what happens here. So if you already get the pen gators, you definitely want to clip through this wall to save time, especially not having Samaria, because you're gonna take the... Not the true NMG route, because we clipped through the wall, but, you know, IPBJ route, rather. Alright, Amarith back on the mountain, going in the Dark World. Alright, Ice Palace bomb jump for DFS. Looks to be going for an NMG setup and didn't quite work out for him. Goes back to like the rando player way with the sword spin. Which I haven't learned the NMG way either, so no shame in it, in my opinion. Alright, so getting through on the second attempt. Gonna fight some penguins. Yeah, not going for the sword spin with Master Sword has just scattered them all around, so that definitely wasn't what he wanted to do there, so Moving on. I'm going to check this right side, but not having a glove won't be able to continue in this direction. I missed the stair clip. A map of Swamp in Mire Shed on Amarith's side. That's a good map to find. Swamp is one of the more annoying dungeons, especially in double rods. Oh, Amarith did not visit Sahasrara, I don't think. Yeah, she doesn't have the mushroom or... So I thought something else might have been there. Maybe it was just the mushroom, but okay. And she doesn't have the map either, which was in Hype Cave. So she's going to get the green pendant, which... Well, if you're going to get one of the pendants, I guess that is the best one to get. Meanwhile, DFS, Iced Tea... Oh, it was the other fire rod that was at Sahasrara. That's why I forgot, because it ended up not mattering. Well, maybe when she goes to Sahasrara, she'll remember she has the Eastern Big Key. And she could do Mr. Buyer Eastern with quadrant glitches. Alright, green pendant acquired for Amarith. DFS down to the bottom of Ice Palace, setting up for Spin YBA. Alright, looks like DFS was successful. Yep, into the cold stair fight. Amarith going to cash in on the green pendant right away. Alright, not too bad of a fight for DFS. It didn't get entirely out of control there, and he cleaned it up. Oh, taking a temporary lead on crystals. I totally missed what the green pendant was because I was looking at the fight. TR map. That's also a good map. We have to be getting close to full knowledge here at this point. Or they both have dodged each other's maps, so maybe they just don't know. But nobody checked on the swamp map yet, and we just got the TR map. DFS knows Pod is a crystal and looks to be returning there right now. Amarith going in the Dark World. Leaving the camera broken. Alright, setting up an offset mirror portal. This is a Pyramid Fairy setup. Alright, got DFS in pod, stocking up on some bombs here. Alright, 20 rupees and a GT small and Pyramid Fairy. Not what we're hoping for. Could check. Yeah, okay. I don't know if she got stuck in the door, if she's going back in. I was gonna say, you could check to see if you get nice free potions there, since you made the effort to come here. I mean, not that she's short on money, but... Oh, I guess she did just stock up from the potion shop. Never mind. So, if you're stuck too high in the door like that, you can hold the B button and collision kick out, tap up, by doing the strafing pose prevents you from re-entering the door. She's trying to reposition this portal, and it's not really working out for her. Oh yeah, this is horrible. Oh no, okay, she's giving up on it finally. This is like looking like some like mirror jump shenanigans, way too many mirror transitions. Just inching the portal along. Alright, DFS. Taking down Helmasaur and gets the pod crystal. But what this is looking to be a commanding lead, but we don't know the swamp situation and our runner's comfort level with that dungeon, because it is kind of an ordeal depending on what people are comfortable with. Alright, Graveyard Ledge for DFS. The fact that the runners are reverting these overworld checks means that they're not happy with their loadout, probably, or they're just brainstorming a next move and just trying to get items while doing it. Unfortunately, just a piece of heart from Zora today, and DFS also setting up the OWG at King's Tomb. But he'll be glad that he did. It's another bottle. You know, maybe not what he wanted, but it is, you know, it's not unhelpful. Alright, Swamp Pendant. Alright, so this has to be Go mode, right? It's just not the fun Go mode. So Amarith tried to go to Eastern earlier. That makes me wonder if she knows, like, the quadrant glitches to skip the bow. Or maybe she just wanted to unlock the door. I think this is Bombo's tablet from EFS, and this is new information because they both of them came here before going up the mountain where the book was. At least I don't think Amarith came back for this, but she did kill Anmo. Alright, Bombos for Amarith. Well, BFS checks the Bombo's tablet. 10 arrows. Right, Amarith, getting her bottle from Hype Cave. Alright, DFS back in Desert. I wonder what the plan here is. But DFS tried to go to Meyer much earlier in the race, but he now knows it's a pendant, so... We'll see what he wants to do. Amarith back at the pyramid. Did not want to leave this check behind. All key. Don't think there are any small keys left that we actually care about. The Desert Small was the last one, and Swamp being a pendant devalues some of the other keys. Speaking of which, DFS is setting up to go to... Oh, I think he failed his YBA. I missed the start of that. But that door would have taken him to Swamp if he was successful with what he was attempting to do. I thought DFS had the Swamp map as well. I could be mistaken about that, or he possibly forgot to check it. Alright, Castle Tower. This is new information. We've not seen this on either side, and we do have a small key. So if Amarith wants to go up and light a torch that we could see. Not required, of course, but it is nice to have. Alright, DFS into Eastern with the big key in hand. And we see the Skullwoods big key in Castle Tower. Very unfortunate after we did every other check in that dungeon, but this is ALTTPR, so that tends to happen. Alright, glove in Eastern Palace in the 100 rupee chest. This also is all new information. We've not seen any of this yet. Looks like we're getting catfish from Amarith. Maybe, depending on, going past the rock. Alright, she forgot that she doesn't have a glove, but she knows the skip, it looks like. If you teleport up from here, you can jump onto the top of the cliff. Like that. They're very nicely done. The glove is a nice convenience item, but it does kind of sting a little bit, because he already did Cold Stare and Ice Palace, and probably not going back to Desert to get checkerboard lamp on Catfish. Wow, what a find. Alright, so for those who aren't familiar with major glitches, the lamp is one of the most powerful items in the game. It controls the search index, which can be used for misslotting glitches such as hook pushing and overworld conveyor. And Amarith did do a little bit of stuck pushing and a little bit of Samaria hook pushing in game 1, so she's at least somewhat familiar with that. I had said earlier that it's possible to use powder as well, but if people aren't familiar with how to do that or aren't comfortable with it, it's not surprising that we haven't seen it in the race. So, back of escape check without the glove. A little bit too low, unfortunately. DFS, clearing out Eastern. Just 10 arrows for walking all the way to the big key chest. A little surprised he walked all the way over there. There's a couple other ways you can get there faster, but nonetheless. Alright, I'm guessing he either doesn't know the bow skip quadrant glitch, or doesn't want to do it because it's a little bit slow. But I don't know. At the 80 minutes in, I would think that he would just want to do clear any crystal you can, maybe. I have to ask him if he's familiar with that. So we're doing a YBA to Meyer on DFS's side, and meanwhile Amarith following into Eastern, getting the glove. So coming into Meyer from Eastern, the camera is all messed up, so Meyer 2 is really awkward. Definitely can't use your normal script. Alright, so the problem with coming in here from Eastern is that you don't have any small keys, so you have to kind of decide how you want to do this. Like, we know it's a pendant, but there was a tragedy in the last race of him not having a small key, trying to get to the boss. Which is kind of an easy mistake to make. And Amarith also going the long way to the big key chest. Oh, I forgot that Amarith checked the medallion. It's ether, so... DFS did not come to the Meyer area, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, maybe... I don't think so. Okay, Amarith going to Ice Palace, it looks like. And DFS... checking the Meyer big key chest. Amarith having trouble with this YBA, decides to like leave and either get another potion or go somewhere else, and DFS continuing with Meyer, but in Eastern Palace State. Taking advantage of having the Eastern big key to open this chest. Just a piece of heart though. Amarith refilling, taking a save and quit. And more financing for YBAs on DFS's side. Alright, looks like he is going to leave and take a look at this medallion. Alright, glove in hand, Amarith checking the back of escape. Alright, nothing but a few rupees and a few bombs, unfortunately. I don't know, at this point I have to guess Amarith really wants a bow? I'm not sure. She knows Swamp is a pendant, so... Flippers and Samaria don't quite have the importance that they would otherwise. Samaria always nice to have, but if you have Hookshot and Lamp, and swaps the crystal, you definitely want the Samari to go with it. But that's not the case this time, so... But she's also doing a little bit of cleanup. Both converging on Checkerboard Cave at about the same time, a little bit amusing. Unfortunately, nothing there, though. A DFS confirming Meyer is a pendant for himself. But back to the light world again. Alright, Amarith back in the well. But DFS stocking up on potions. I definitely have to ask about Eastern, because Amarith did the Turtle Power Quadrant glitch, which is like identical to the what you do to skip the bow in Eastern. You just have to do it twice, and on an Igor instead of a turtle. I'm a little surprised that neither of them finished the dungeon. DFS. Back on the mountain in the Dark World. Amarith having a hard time with his YBA. Needs to consume a little bit of magic. DFS going to Turtle Rock, it looks like. Alright, nice mirror wrap on DFS's side. Gonna check out Laser Bridge. Might even go for the boss, depending on our potions and, you know, what the plan is here. Yeah, I think Amarith is a little frazzled. Like, the pressure is getting to her. Because you cannot drink a green potion if you're full on magic, even if it's for a glitch. The game will not allow it. And it didn't look like DFS found anything on Laser Bridge. It's a little bit surprising. It's one of our last, like, dense areas that's easy to get to. Alright, DFS unfortunately went through the door. So when you do this YBA, you don't want to transition. And he realizes something is wrong and mirrors back. If he has, yeah, 3 potions is enough to try again. So this is the Trinex double YBA. It takes 2 potions. Looks like he wants to refill his magic or might try to do a hook push. Although based on what we saw last race, I don't think he's going for a hook push. Oh, he's going for a hover. Oh, Lord. With a 2.5 heart hover, this is... And he forgot the magic. I mean, well, he can drink a potion when he gets there. If he gets there. Alright, I've made it about 1/3 of the way, it looks like. We're gonna try again. Alright, this is not easier than doing the YBA. I just want to put that out there. It is kind of a notoriously stressful YBA, but this is exhausting work, what he's trying to do. Alright, well, taking a death. Well, I respect the attempt. I just don't think that's easier than doing the YBA, but maybe he's confused and he... I guess he forgot the steps for the YBA. Because you want to After you do the YBA in the door, you want to walk down. You don't go through the door after doing the glitch, which not sure if that was an intentional transition on his part, but maybe he's just confused about the steps, or he forgot, or whatever the case may be. Well, maybe he wants to try again. Yeah, going for a potion shop. Alright, Amarith. Also on the mountain in the Dark World. You know, that's a good point that, Malmo said in chat. Mate, having Master Sword, well, I guess he has the hammer too, but still, just regular magic and not having tempered for the Trinex fight is pretty annoying unless you're really good at the fight. But my hammer is good to have, but it's still not nearly as good as having the tempered sword. Alright, Amarith. Mirror Wrap. I'm gonna get her trash on Laser Bridge. Alright, taking damage from the enemy to set up for another YBA attempt. Alright, bombing to get in position is interesting, because this is not an auto door, but... Alright, successful YBA does go south instead of north. And it does navigate, avoiding the pit narrowly there. Alright, so this YBA is do or die, because if you transition, you fall into a pit if you don't do it correctly. And unfortunately, that's what we're seeing right now. You can mash Y on the mirror and save some time here, but he decides to just reset. So Amarith is looking up a guide, would be my guess, why we're standing in the door and not doing it yet. And fortunately, sorry, excuse me. I don't blame her for taking the time to look up the steps if you're not confident in the procedure, because this is a pretty notorious trick. It's not super old, but it is. I don't know. It's kind of a thing people don't really want to do, but you do it when you have to, and there are a lot of ways it can go wrong. Alright, well, fortunately, having the mirror, we can just try again, though. Going through the door is not the worst thing for the first one, if you have the mirror, anyway. Alright, unfortunately, she drinks the potion, but if she has more potions, she can try again. I don't know what the situation is. DFS setting up the mirror app to come back. I personally would advise against this bomb snapping setup for non-auto doors. If you're mashing a dash buffer to position for a YBA, it kind of primes your muscle memory to doing a same frame input. So I find YBAs where you're setting up a position tend to be easier than the ones where you just like, here, you're on the spot, do it. At least that's just my preference. But nonetheless, okay, we're successful on the first YBA. It needs a YBA in this door without transitioning. Alright, Amarith, I think, is looking up the mirror wrap for Ice Palace. But she's in the area to go to Ice Palace. Alright, DFS drank his potion, but that's okay. He can leave and, like, bomb him, like, leave the doorway, I mean, not leave the dungeon. Okay, good, he knows. So he can back this up by taking damage. One was enough, it's just red mail, is deceptive. And he can... I wonder if he knows a pixel, because I'm not sure for this sprite if we have a clear visual cube. Alright, this is heartbreaking. But it is a difficult trick, though. And being in a tournament, like, definitely makes it worse. Oh, no, 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 no! Ugh. Man. Man, these runners are having a hard time. You hate to see it. So, Amarith needed to teleport down there from her position, clipping through and getting a jump over the top of the screen transition set up the hard lock that we just saw. So the way you can set that up, you can either teleport down or you can go on the corner and like either dash buffer until you jump or like do hook speed until you clip through. But if you do the hook speed, you need to make sure not to diagonal, because if you accidentally teleport, that will also hardlock you. Oh no, Amarith. Does Amarith have the flippers? Does anyone know? Did we make a mistake? So the trick she's trying to do right now requires having flippers. Well, she's going to find out that if she doesn't have flippers, she will splash back to where she was. She's about to find out. Okay, so DFS, first YBA done, setting up for the second. Alright, does get the second one. Alright, good. Alright. Falling in a hole, intentional. Puts us in a spot we want to be. Now all we gotta do is up. Also, there's some pretty severe weather outside, so I'm sorry if it's noisy, or if something happens, I disappear. The internet may die, but unlikely, but possible. Just a heads up. Alright, so DFS into the Trinex fight has one of the heads down, and we get our nice opposite colors because of the YBA. Very stylish. Alright, Amarith setting up a mirror wrap. Gets bombed by the High while trying to teleport. Oh, we love the RNG in this game so much. Alright, Trinex is down on DFS's side, so that's 6 crystals and their bosses. He's pushing through. So just Eastern. So Amarith unfortunately makes the same mistake again. If you're clipping that high, you need to try to teleport down. Clipping straight through will jump you too high. You really want to go on the corner if you're doing the jump setup. Okay, DFS having a little brainstorm. Maybe thinking of a plan for Eastern Palace, or a plan for looting more items somewhere. Alright, well, Amarith, that didn't look great to me, but she did get on top of the slope there, which is where we need to be to set the mirror wrap up. Alright, DFS stocking on potions, back on the mountain, into the Dark World portal. Alright. DFS placing a mirror portal. I'm nervous that's not going to work, but the only consequence of that, which will be wasting time. It looked a little low, but maybe he'll prove me wrong. Oh no, wait, I just remembered. He does this like the very old-fashioned way. He picks up a bush and then positions on top of the portal, so it doesn't actually matter that the portal's too low. Or, I don't know, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. There's too many setups for this. Sorry. Alright. Nothing helpful. Amarith still presumably reading a guide on mirror wraps. Alright, fake flipper action from DFS. They're taking the long swim lap to hammer pegs. Alright, Amarith did the first step of the mirror wrap correct. No, don't go in. No, stop, 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 stop. I tried. I tried to stop her. Oh my god. I'm sorry. These guys are killing me. Ugh, I wish I could impart knowledge on them. Well, but that's illegal, so maybe I don't wish that. It's against the rules to help them, but I just want them to do better. Learning glitches definitely is not the easiest thing. So, for anyone that's curious, if you are trying to space yourself as high as possible for this mirror wrap, which isn't necessary, there's a few pixels that work. You don't have to be at the top, but you can use your sword as a guide, if assuming you have, like, at least the Master Sword. So if your sword is close to touching the transition, that means that you're as high as you can go without the hard lock that we saw on Amarith's side. But as I said, though, you can be a few pixels lower than that. Like, that's as far as you want to... No, no! Oh, if you are a little bit low when you do this, as long as you're holding down, you get a collision kick up that avoids getting stuck in the wall. So, I let's back this up a step. So sorry. For anyone that doesn't know, she's trying to get inside the courtyard of Ice Palace. But you need to be near the top of the transition, but you don't have to be exactly at the top. That's the problem here. And it's just heartbreaking when people are like learning stuff. You just want them to get it right away, but it's not always that simple. But DFS, I'm gonna get the bad news on Zora. And we saw this earlier on Amarith's side. Alright, DFS. Meditating with the Zoras. Save and quit. Hey, this looks good. This looks good. We're inside the wall. Just need to find the door. Alright, we're in. Very nice. Alright, setting up the bomb clip. Very nice. Still no Samaria. So, decides to go check the penguins first before going deeper in the dungeon. Alright, DFS is going to Eastern. I wonder if he was looking up a guide while he was at Zora. Oh, accidentally gets an up teleport there. If you get this right away, it is faster. If you have the hook shot and the glove, you could go up the normal way. It's comparable time. It just doesn't look cool. Alright, Amarith, forced to do the IPBJ route. I apologize. Testing, testing. Please type in the chat if you can hear me. Alright, so I did say there was severe weather outside, and unfortunately it was quite severe too. There was a power surge in my area, so I apologize for that. Anyway, so looking at other times tracking, I'm guessing DFS did not clear Eastern. So DFS setting up to go to Swamp. Meanwhile, Amarith is clearing out Ice Palace. There's a DFS, excuse me, DFS successfully into the back of Swamp with the double YBA. Setting up to drain the water, it looks like. Alright, Amarith cleared out Ice Palace, I think. I'm guessing she did the glove and hammer stuff that we missed, or that DFS was unable to do. Based on the length of time that she was in here, I'm guessing. And didn't find anything for her troubles, it looks like. DFS gets some tape. Alright, cold stare down for Amarith. Catching up here. Alright, Desert Big Chest, pretty sure we saw this earlier. Oh, small key to Swamp, maybe we didn't. That's kind of a funny spot for that. Hey, Amarith on the mountain. Left side here, a clip. In and out. Now where are we going? A DFS heading to Landmo, I presume. Oh, I forgot. Amarith did not do Homosaur yet. Yeah, this is good to just done. Like, statue drag is not the easiest thing in the world. It's a little bit annoying, but it's not quite as daunting as a double YBA. Alright, DFS making a play for the green pendant, which unfortunately we know is not going to pay out. Alright, having the mirror, nice, easy setup for at least the start of the glitch. Alright, this is the hard part, the second bomb in the door. Unfortunately didn't get it, but fortunately it keeps the statue, the stored statue pulling animation, so you could just try again, assuming you have like health and bombs, which we do have plenty of. Alright, gets it. Just needs to move around, lift some pots, step on the switch, manipulate the camera. And DFS taking down Landmo. Alright, well, we are in the fight. We are chucking bombs. Swinging the sword. Alright. So, Amarith mostly caught up here. DFS gets his trash from the back of escape, meanwhile. So Amarith still is down TR. Might try to go for that again. Maybe having a little brainstorm or possibly looking up a guide for the next plan here. DFS getting the news on Turtle Rock that he already knows. Like, thanks, old man. Amarith back in Eastern. I wonder if she has a plan. Or has a guide and a plan. Perhaps. I wonder if anyone has stuck pushed past the Igor rooms yet. Or if the camera's just too messed up to handle that. Alright, Spike Cave from DFS. We are scraping the bottom of the barrel here. It gets sword. Oh. Well, it's a nice item. It's just not what we need. Alright, so Amarith's setting up a quadrant glitch. If successful, this will skip the bow requirement of Eastern. We need to destabilize the camera, but we have to do it in a way that... Oh, that has to be an accident, I would imagine. Did not mean to mirror there. Well, I'm not sure. Alright, so just a little recap here for this race. Oh, where do I start? Where do I start? Okay, so the seed had... The Moon Pearl was in the right side of pod. There was a bottle in Hype Cave and in the mushroom spot, and the hook shot was on Magic Bat. The lamp was on Catfish, which I'm surprised both of them have it, but seem to not be comfortable using it. Although DFS did get his lamp after Trinex. I don't know, the DFS kind of took a lead by succeeding sooner on Ice Palace and TR, but both of them seem stuck on Eastern. Not sure how to tackle it without the bow. It's kind of the short of it. Yeah, DFS is doing like all his one-offs, but it seems like the items they want, which... Bow for both of them would help. The Amarith did the Samaria hook push to Armos in the first race, so that would solve it for her. I don't know if DFS is comfortable with that or not. DFS doing a mirror wrap. Oh, maybe perhaps unintentionally. Amarith going to Meyer, but unfortunately we've seen most of this already from DFS, so this is not going to help. Well, we've not seen the boss. If she does some kind of glitching to reach the boss, Vitreous might have a helpful item for us. Alright, ped check on DFS's side. Just rupees. At this point, they've done so much it would almost be a relief if a helpful item was there. But at this point, it's looking like both of the bows and Samaria are locked behind themselves, and the runners seem not sure how to proceed. I believe DFS attempted to quadrant glitch Eastern earlier, but I had a power outage, so I did miss a few minutes of the race. Alright, Skullwood's big chest. This actually is new information, because Amarith didn't have this either when she cleared this dungeon. Half magic. Helpful, but not helpful enough. There is also another solution for Eastern, but it's kind of an obscure version of a stuck push. I'm pretty sure Amarith did stuck pushing in the last race, but this is a more advanced setup with a sword beam and a boomerang, so I'm not surprised if they don't know it, which is just unfortunate because they keep checking things and not finding anything. And Amarith did look like she was thinking about Swamp, but I think she accidentally wasted her Hera key. Not sure if she reset after that. I missed that the Meyer big key was in Meyer. His DFS did this in Eastern, so he had the Eastern big key to open the big chest. If Amarith has a potion, she could attempt to glitch to the boss, but I'm not sure if we're going to try to do that. Alright, so DFS going for... Not sure if he... And maybe he thought he had the small key for Thieves Town. So we know that they both did the dungeon from the front door without having the small key. So we've not seen the big chest of Thieves Town either. Alright, Amarith wants to use the key in Swamp, it looks like. I'm still not having the flippers, but we will be able to check some stuff there, though. Alright, DFS setting up the Uncle YBA to Thieves Town. Just praying there's something in the big chest. They're probably shocked that his opponent is not done yet. Just a piece of heart. Alright, Amarith is in Swamp, thinking carefully about small key usage here. Um, Unfortunately, we did already see 3 checks in the back on DFS's side. He did a double YBA, so we know the back is not going to help her. $20 in the compass chest. Okay, seeing some interesting collision from mismatched tile sets. An odd bonk. 300 rupees in the big chest. The DFS buying a potion. Alright. Amarith getting the small key, but I'm not sure what her plan is here. It looks like DFS is going back for the glove checks in Ice Palace, which unfortunately also is not going to turn up anything. DFS wins the sprite battle. I don't know, Amarith's bunny sprite is a bottle, which is very appropriate for no logic, but... Alright, so Amarith... I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah, there is a splashless setup for bomb diver down. But you want to clip on the left rail, not the right. As far as I know, that's the only way. Because not having the flippers, you have to do a different setup for this. And she's just now realizing it, or perhaps looking up a guide. DFS Cave State Ice Palace. Not too often seen. At least not, like, this deep in the dungeon. Oh, for those that missed it, he did not have the glove the first time he beat this. He used a spin YBA to get to the boss. I believe Amarith did this because she cleared this out much later than he did. Alright, Amarith backtracking to the front. And I believe we've not seen these 2 front checks. Alright, DFS save and quit. Nothing in the second chest of Swamp. Or the first chest, either. Alright, DFS skipping over the hammer pegs with having the hammer. Setting up a bomb clip. I do like the bomb clip if you're heading west anyway, even if you have the hammer. If you get it right away, you can save a little bit of time. Yeah, going back to Meyer, I wonder what his plan is. Right, Amarith to buy some bombs. DFS recalling that he doesn't have flippers either. Yeah, I think she would have checked the left side swamp if she could have, but I mean, there's definitely a couple ways you could do it, but she either doesn't know them or are not comfortable. But also, that if you, I don't know, with Ice Rod stuck pushing, it requires more space than with the bow. So I don't know if you actually could easily stuck push to left side. You could spin YBA from Uncle to left side, as long as you use a green potion and don't do the fade transition. You have to enter from the inside the courtyard side if you want to get those items. Alright, Amarith about to get her final sword. DFS? I think he's going to swamp too, because he already did the big key chest. But maybe he just wasn't sure how to approach swamp. Yeah, never got the Hera key off of Bumper Ledge, it looks like. That's normally the key we like to use for swamp, but Meyer key is an alternative though. Amarith going to Hera basement. Don't know if this has been seen yet in this tourney. This is my thinking room in Cross Keys, but I don't think I've ever been here in No Logic, though. Alright, and the Hera Big Key chest has 20 rupees. Alright, DFS getting his nothing out of the front of Swamp. Alright, Amarith going back to GT. Okay, this could be good. But we already cleared out the left side, but... Okay, climbing. I was afraid that we were climbing again. Because you could try to glitch to get the right side items, assuming that you know that that's a thing, but... Oh, if for those that missed it, quite early on in the race, like very early on, Amarith did this. She clipped the mimics and went into the gauntlet rooms and tried to set up a YBA that would have, with some careful bomb jumping, would have also allowed her to get some items from the top. But she unfortunately was not successful. And so now, like approximately 90 minutes later, we're back. She did faster mimic clipping this time, so that's nice to see. A 10 bows on the lumberjack. And DFS is unfortunately getting a bad clip there. Well, if there are 10 bows on lumberjack, then do you get like an archer squad to like back you up during the Ganon fight? Alright, Amarith not trying to glitch the dungeon other than mimic clipping, just gonna climb through normally to check the items. And as the hook shot this time, I actually don't remember if she had it the first time, but it's nice to know that she'll be getting the Moldarm 2 chest as well. Hook shot was early, but I don't remember if it was that early. Doing the Wizrobes room without Samaria. It's a journey. Not even having bow either. Sword beams tend to work okay if we had full health. Alright, DFS. Back at the castle. Wonder what kind of play this is gonna be. DFS left Dark Cross. Oh yeah, Dark Cross was the sword that he... No, he must have... He has 4 swords. Wait a second. I'm getting really confused. So why does Amarith not... Okay, never mind. It's just the tracker. It's like... I was confused. I think they both should have 4 swords. Well, DFS visually has the gold sword, but I thought that one of the swords was in Dark Cross, which is where DFS is now. I'm not sure where we're going here. Mitts at the top of GT is, well, Smiths. Doesn't really do anything. I mean, we technically could already do the Smiths, but maybe they aren't familiar with the tricks to do that. There's the small key to thieves. Not that she was in a hurry to go back for that, but... Alright, so it's just a lot of nothing. I mean, I have to imagine she goes and checks the Smiths after this. Because you want your play to have some kind of value behind it. Oh, Samaria was there? Oh, I missed it. I was trying to figure out what DFS was doing. Alright, well, Samaria is the solution for Amarith. She can hook push Eastern and just be done. And she probably feels really bad because she tried to do this climb earlier. And I still have no idea what DFS is trying to do here. Alright, DFS getting his disappointment in Hera Basement. But I forgot she didn't even have fire during the first climb. So even if she had wanted to climb regularly after missing the YBA, she couldn't. Alright, so she doesn't have sword beams, so this is annoying to set up. But she does get it. The timing's a little tricky with Fire Rod. Because you need to wait until the cane drops to hit the Y button, but sometimes it's too... Yeah, I was afraid of that. So that she wasn't standing back far enough, and the distance was shorted. So she could just try again. It's not a big deal, but if she has a red potion, I would just drink it for sword beams, because it's, like, just way easier than doing the Fire Rod push. And the beam distance is pretty far. It's like slightly longer than one subtitle. So, yeah, she didn't stand back much further than last time, so I hope this works. Like, you really want to stand, like, all the way back against the other wall there. But fire rod distance is about as far as you shoot the fire rod is the distance you get when you hook push. But she doesn't know this, but I forgot she has to do TR as well. But unless DFS like thinks of a solution or finds a bow in Mimic Cave here, I'm pretty sure Amarith is gonna win this one. Alright. So she keeps full health to the front door. Being down on magic is a little bit annoying, but with sword beams, you're not gonna get shorted. Ended up drinking a potion anyway. I don't know if she was out of potions earlier completely, but... She's being really, really careful on how to set this up. For the first block, you would just want to make sure all 4 beams have room to expand without crashing into anything. For the second block, specifically with beam distance, it's the bottom beam is the one you want to make sure is on screen when your sword beam, you know, connects. I think, okay, she just needs to buffer this a little bit better and it should be fine. Yeah. So there you have it. Our first hook push of the seed. And sadly probably our last as well, but... Alright, so DFS doing some outrageous hovering, trying to get the Samaria lock checks in TR. Now, there is a YBA for this. Maybe he should hover to, like, the side platforms, you know, so he can take a rest. This seems extremely ambitious. But he's halfway. Oh my goodness, this is outrageous. I can't believe I'm seeing this. Oh my god, he's there, he's there! He made it across! Oh my goodness, that was insane. Give him a bow, please. Nope, just bombs. He deserved something for that effort. My goodness. And maybe taking a little rest after that. Alright, Amarith going for a mirror wrap here. Needs to mirror and press left on the same frame. Can be a little bit tricky. But at least the punishment for failure is not severe in this case. Oh, and those coming in late, she did check those chests earlier. She just hard reset after drinking potions. And I assure you there was nothing of value there. Alright, DFS at the meditation pool. Alright, unfortunately DFS has thrown in the towel. I've only had to suffer about 2 more minutes after this Trinex fight, but has had enough. And understandably so. But, so let's please get our GGs for DFS. He did put up quite a show, especially giving us that last hover to go out on. Alright, Amarith making her way to Ganon. A nice, comfy gold sword fight. Alright, only 6 hits for the first 2 phases here, and she gets it done. No, like 6 hits per phase, rather, and got the lamp out to make a nice, easy torch glitch. Just 12 spins total. Can be a little bit tedious, but just a matter of time here. And DFS going back to Eastern. That's not unforfeited, but maybe just feels like messing around. Trying to set up a hook push. If I was doing this and using the lamp, I would want to stand extremely far back from the pot and do 2 bombs and 2 ice rod shots, but with no sword. Alright, let's get our GGs for Amarith. Gonna be the winner of this race and this series. An official time of 2 hours, 30 minutes, 48 seconds. That was quite a seed. Unfortunate about the lack of bow, really. That seemed to give both of them a lot of trouble. Oh, DFS did get the hook stuck. Missed it. I missed how he set it up. Well, unfortunately for the next step, you want to have sword beams, so I don't know what his plan is. But, we'll see. Oh, it looks like they're already here. You guys can come up when you're ready. I don't know if you can hear me. Or do I have to drag them in? Does anyone know? Sorry, we'll get them in here in just a moment. Sorry for the delay. We are joined by Amarith, the winner of today's race. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we're also joined
GG's.
by DFS as well. GG.
Apparently,
Yeah.
I should have gone up to the top of GT.
Yeah, that was, it did have Samari. I mean, it seemed both of you were stuck on Eastern, but,
Do you ever
really
have
quick.
a moment like when you go halfway through a scene, you think like, man, I really should have climbed to GT instead of just quitting when I couldn't get the YBA.
Can't say that I have, but, it was an interesting play, and it was heartbreaking that you missed the YBA the first time. So let me just really quick say, both of you, because you probably, I mean, you obviously you don't know if you're in the race, but both of you were in GT at the same time, and everyone was surprised at how early both of you were doing it. And but Amarith decided to climb, clipped the mimics, and was setting up a YBA to get the items at the top, but unfortunately didn't pull it off. Whereas DFS, you know, just got the left side and decided to leave.
Yeah, I don't like climbing GT, so I was just like, I'll get that later. And then I forgot entirely. I forgot it existed.
It's
Oops.
kind of my sentiment. It's just like, I don't feel like climbing GT. There's so many other things that I could do, and missing the YBA is like, it's just 4 checks. I'll come back later when I can like hook push or STC in. And
Well, if you watch this back, you'll hear that I was very disappointed that you were climbing in the first place, but then I was pleased that you were going to use a glitch instead of doing all the rooms, and then I was heartbroken that it didn't work.
I just could not hit a YBA to save my life today.
It's not the easiest thing in the world, and I have to say, my advice to everyone, even though I'm not perfect either, but just hit the controller as hard as you can. Like, use good force, make sure you get them on the same frame. Like, just hit them as hard as you can. That's what I say to everyone. And
Just hit 2 buttons at the same time. It's the most difficult trick in the game.
I would
I
use
always-
one
I
hand
always-
personally.
I usually do one hand. I put like the controller down on the table and try to press them both at the same time, so that way you're more likely to hit it. But it's just like I just couldn't get it today.
Yeah, I think most people have those days. It happens. And the pressure of like a tournament with a restream definitely, you know, doesn't help. But so I was curious though because you did do the quadrant glitch on the turtles, Amarith.
Mhm.
But it looked like you went to Eastern and it looked like you maybe were referencing a guide or something, but then you mirrored out. Was that an unintentional mirror out, or
I
I
was
just wasn't
running
sure?
to I was running into the back to do the quadrant glitch, and then because I know it exists and I know like the concept of it, but I couldn't find like the coordinates of like where to stand on it by the time I was going to try to do it. So it's like I can't just mess around and sit here trying to do it. Like I got to go do something else.
All right, I wasn't sure. Because it looked to me like you left so suddenly. I wondered if it was like a quick swap, like mistake or something. I just wasn't sure what was going on. And also, was a really bad thunderstorm outside, so I had lost power for like a few minutes of the
Mm.
race. So I kind of got a little disoriented with what you guys were doing, but
As long as your power went out when I was trying to get into Ice Palace, like I'm cool with that. Like if you didn't have to watch any of that, like all the better.
Why? What you were trying to do to get into ice?
Oh, just the mirror wrap and stuff like that. Because I
Hmm.
just do not like that trick like at all. Like I can do it sometimes. I just really hate it and it scares me. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, the scarier you
um,
are on that one, the more you're gonna mess it up. You just gotta go for it. Be confident.
I did see that, and yeah, I'm sorry. I have to apologize to the audience, but I was yelling. I was like, "Stop! Stop! Stop!" Because you kept walking into the hard lock transition. It was both of you were having such a hard time. Like this was a really like a heartbreaker of a race. Like both of you struggling and like visibly like looking up guides and like trying different like plans and approaches and just having such a hard time. And then like one of you checks out a bunch of garbage and the other checks it out like thinking, "Oh, nobody does this, maybe they'll have something." But like the audience already knew you weren't going to find anything. It was yeah, we definitely are, you guys sticking with it for as long as you did. Like it definitely was an achievement because like not everybody knows everything and the stuff is like not easy to learn, but you guys kept going. And DFS, I was gonna say this earlier, I don't want to forget, like big props on the hover. Like that was a really strong note to go out on. It was a crowd pleaser. We're really glad to see it, and we were rooting for you to get a bow in that chest, but obviously it didn't happen.
Oh, would you hover?
TR lobby. The
Ah,
long hover.
The compass chest
Yeah,
from the
that's
chain
yeah,
shop
compass.
side.
ooh.
Yeah, that was bombs. I was heartbroken. I was like, that was a great hover across, and I'm like, this could be Samaria, and it could be the silvers or bow, whatever. And yeah, it was nothing. And then I just stopped and stared at my guides for a little bit. Like, is there anything else I can do?
Um, I may, because I don't know if you have time to watch this back. Being people are busy and it was a long race. But let me just tell you, I did explain it in the commentary. But for the mirror wrap Amarith, there's several pixels that work near the top. You don't have to be on the highest pixel. You can also use your sword as kind of a guide if you have Master Sword. Like your sword can't touch the top of like near the hard lock transition. So that's kind of a reference, like a rough guide of when you're getting close to the hard lock. If you're like holding your sword north.
Yeah, I knew I
But
was close and looking at the guide too that I was trying to follow. It's just I've never had to do it with since I got my new model, so I was really unfamiliar with like where exactly like the top was gonna be.
Yeah, for that one, I generally use the shadow and just go like a tile and a half down from the top,
Hmm.
well,
maybe a little bit lower.
as long as you're holding down when you go right, it will collision kick you out so you don't get stuck in the wall. I'm assuming you're high enough, but you don't have to be at the top. Like, I don't know the
Mhm.
exact range, but there's definitely like a few pixels that work. It's not exact. And yeah, it was just so many heartbreaking moments in this race. But
I could
again,
imagine.
I salute you both for, the perseverance, sticking it out. And I'd be happy to link you guys in Discord if you want, somebody linked recently the Buyer quadrant glitch tutorial if you guys do want to brush up on the Eastern thing.
Yeah, because
Before your
every time
next
I go to
races.
every time I try to go find that, I just can never words. I can
You're
never
talking about
find it when I'm trying to use it.
you're talking about the quadrant glitch off the greenies, the green
Yeah.
eggers. Yeah.
Yep.
I tried that, and I'm just like I feel like I was close, but then again I felt like I was also pretty far to the right, and everything was just thrown off.
It's
Hey,
pretty
there's
similar
slippers.
to Turtle Power, even though the tile set is different. There's still like a shadow cue with like the pattern on the floor. It's hard to explain, but like I'll bump the guide up on Discord. Like he goes over a lot in the video, so
Okay.
you'll have to look for that specific one. But like I'm confident that you guys could do it because like and you Amarith did Turtle Power. It's just not knowing where to stand. So, and that would
Yeah,
save you a lot of trouble in the future in a race like this. Oh, nice
yeah.
flippers in the roller room. Let's see. Oh, also, Mel was saying the glitch maps also have a screenshot for a visual cue as well.
That's what I pulled up during the race was that glitch map, and I just didn't pull up the guide. I was just looking at the description of it.
Damn. Yeah, when I went into it, I'm pretty sure the link was dead. It wasn't a working link, so I think she said she just updated it. So
Oh yeah, it looks like a dead link. Yeah, it's updated now. Okay.
So I guess another question that I had thought of, because Amarith, if I recall correctly, you did do some stuck pushing in the previous race a little bit, or am I misremembering?
yeah, I'm a lot better at pushing.
All right. So I was assuming, obviously, because you guys kept looking for items, but it's not the most user-friendly setup, but there is, if you have a lot of space in the room, you can use the ice rod to set up a stuck hook as well. It's just that releasing it, I mean, you did find the lamp eventually, so that helps with the releasing, but I just wanted to put that out there, just putting ideas in case you guys wanted to brush up on some things for the other races. Like, it's definitely not preferred. I know you guys really wanted, like, a bow or Samaria, but
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
the other thing that I do need to do is I need to look up some of the other alternative setups for getting pushes in.
Yeah, I got
yeah,
into after I forfeited. I got into Eastern, and I set up a stuck hook, but I couldn't remember how to release it, and that was one of the reasons I didn't really want to go there with that in mind, because I don't really remember the full setup of it.
yeah, I saw that. It was during Amarith's Ganon fight, and so I missed when you actually did get the hook stuck. Obviously, there's more than one way to do it, but for this one, for Armos is kind of an obscure one, and
Okay.
you want to have the sword beams and specifically the blue boomerang. Like it's possible with the red boomerang, but it's possible
Mhm.
to overload as well and fail it, which is just because the red boomerang puts so much stuff on screen. So that one is not surprised if people don't know that, but that's another thing. If you guys want, I'd be happy to. I don't know if Buyer goes over it in his stuck push video because it is kind of an obscure one, but
Yeah, for that one, I
uh,
got the hook stuck with blue boom, uh, lamp, and ice rod.
I'm done.
But then I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't remember how to release it.
but both bows are going to be in this room, aren't they? Because we're a little bit behind on. Yep, there they are. Wow.
Both
Yep.
bows in
Yeah.
compass room.
fun.
I kind of thought that was going to be the case, even before you guys were like full clearing. This is why I was kind of thinking of like, hey, there are ways to stuck push this. They're not the funnest ways, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I was,
so
I was
hard. There
actually
are ways to like know to decide where you're going, so like no fault to either of you.
I was actually
It's one of those
thinking
things
both
that, yeah.
Bose and the Samaria was in this room, and I'm just like, there's no way I can get to that.
Yeah, it's like I know there's alternative ways. It's just I couldn't think of any of them, and I couldn't like think of where. Like I didn't really want to bring up a guide and watch like however long the tutorials can be sometimes, where it's like, oh, here's all the alternate different methods to do the stuck pushes and
Yeah, the
all
buyer
that.
guide for stuck pushing is quite lengthy, but it's also quite thorough. But you guys did eventually find the lamp, which would have made it easier. But like I was like theorizing, like you guys, it's possible to do it with powder, and ice rod and red boomerang. But when you do stuck pushing without a bow, without a lamp, without Samaria, like it costs quite a lot of magic to release the stuck hook. So that is a potential problem. But yeah, and I don't blame you guys for not knowing any of this. Or maybe not going for it rather, but I don't know, it's just with a seed this nasty, like, and I'm just sitting here thinking, like, what could they do instead, because I've seen you guys, like, crisscross and, like, not finding anything for so long, it's like, just frustrated, like, I feel
You're
like I was
rooting for
almost
finding
frustrated as you
anything.
guys. Yeah. But, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm the one that ran this seed. Like I'm worn out from watching this. So, uh,
Yeah, that was a rough one.
I don't know if anyone in chat has questions for these two. I think I covered most of the stuff I was thinking about, and what about you guys? Do you guys want to discuss anything that I didn't hit on, or?
I mean, I
Aside
can't
from
really.
cool seed, best one I've ever played. Like
I was just saying earlier to had a conversation with Gabriel, like that these tournament seeds, like they're always like more outrageous than like our practice seeds. It's always something weird. Like it was Samaria top of GT, two bows right side, and like we've seen in this tournament, like flippers in castle tower, swords on ped, like both rods in the same room, but like no knowledge on the other two rods. Like these seeds are just outrageous.
Yeah, you mentioned something about us being in GT at the same time, and everyone thought it was early. I've noticed something is there's always something in GT, always something.
mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm like, as soon as I got the ability to go in there, I'm like, I'm there. And if I had remembered that there's items at the top of GT, I would have climbed right then and there as well.
I kind of had the same mindset too, because I was like, okay, I got Hook. I was like, okay, I may consider doing GT in a little bit. And then I got Hammer. I was like, okay, I'm definitely heading to GT next chance I get, because like left side is just so appealing.
Yeah, even before I had Hammer, I'm just gonna bomb juke this door and just get to those chests. And then I had Hammer. I'm like, never mind, I can just do it normally.
Well, I'm a true believer in GT myself, and in no logic, and I have to say, sometimes it's barren. It's not often, but yeah. Well, I was thinking, I didn't disagree with going to GT, I just would think that there was a more efficient, like, order of operations. Like, because you guys had the hook shot anyway, you can go pod, hookshot cave, and then GT, and do all of that at once. And if you have the cave key, well, then again, you guys got bailed out. GT big key in GT, but like I didn't disagree with the play
Yeah,
itself.
funny
I just
joke
thought
game.
like the ordering, like I would have put it off just a little bit. Was all I was thinking, and obviously, there's no right or wrong answers until we know where all the items are. But that was just my thought on it. But yeah, it was. We were both citrusing at the same time, and like it was just funny, like not like a bad kind of funny. It was just like, all right,
How
we're
did we get
doing
to
this.
this?
But
I'll attribute that to great minds think alike. So. I think that's about it, though.
Yeah, I have really nothing more to say about the seed.
Funny to
than
see,
cool
game
seed.
has jokes.
well, congratulations.
Good luck
again
versus
to
the
Amarith.
Relkin. I'm gonna go slam my head against Mr. Buyer.
Oh, yeah, I don't have my bracket and stuff up because I had the power outage. I was gonna look at the schedule and stuff for everyone just to give us a little reminders if to anyone that's still here as we're winding down.
Schedule, I got it up right here. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern, we have Tam and Dot Dot there playing on SpeedGaming Main. 8 p.m. Eastern is hang on. I believe yourself and Gabriel Campos. Also, Leaf and Brett are playing at the same time, and an hour later, after that, 9 Eastern, some Clips and Malmo will be playing. All of which have channels, most of which need commentary, so get on it.
That's unfortunate that there's overlapping, right? But lots of action, though. Oh yeah, and as you stated, yeah, so you're moving on to face Mr. Buyer. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I'm gonna die. I'm in danger.
Yeah, Mr. Buyer is quite an accomplished runner, that is a fact. And DFS, do you have any thoughts about the Relkin matchup?
I don't feel confident with that one, but I do have some more time to practice before it and relearn some of these glitches. So I'm gonna go in with a positive mindset, but expecting to lose.
I believe you could pull one off him.
Definitely need a few more practice seats, though.
Just maybe, hopefully, none more like that.
Right.
I'm so sorry. Something happened. Not related to this, but congratulations and GG's, and thanks to Other Tom for tracking, and thanks to Phoenix for the setup help. And do you guys have any thoughts?
Nope. I was just gonna say thank you for the restream, the commentary, and their tracking.
All right. Well, everyone have a good evening, and we will see you next time. Thank you.